And you mentioned obstacles. I tell you one. I thought of an obstacle. One of the obstacles is like I feel a lot of sexual harassment at my job.
You know what?
It's like
Wait, the look on her face, she was like, "What's he about to say?"
Trying to keep your employer's hands off you. That's been very tough. She can't keep her hands off me. I like get by the coffee machine, the water cooler, and it's like she's feeling on my butt. I'm like, dude, we're at work. Let's keep it professional.
She can't help herself. So you
FM radio.
On FM radio, you can say whatever on FM. So being entrepreneurs, and you talked about the potential in the city and how Gary is on this wave, I call it, of entrepreneurialism. Starting a law firm in the city, what was a lot of grind that was implemented in the beginning, a lot of hustle, grit work, just to kind of get the thing flowing. You have a lot of long hours, I'm assuming, at night.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, but that comes with the profession. I think that the practice of law is as one of my old partners said in my old firm, the practice of law is a jealous mistress. And it keeps you up. It keeps you up at night. And I don't necessarily think that's location specific. I think if you're practicing in Alaska, the hours are going to be the same, whether you're practicing in Gary. So that the location is not the obstacle. The profession is what drives the hours. Mm-hmm. And, I'm a firm believer that if you're going to be good at anything, then you're going to have to invest the time. And, the practice is not a 9-to-5 job. And starting a law firm definitely is not a 9-to-5 job. So we, most of our time when we did open the firm in Gary was dedicated to trying to find the right location. And one of the things that was very interesting was, and it is unfortunately, it's the mindset in our area, because Gary does have a very, very negative imagery attached to it. So, people would automatically say, well, you two are lawyers, you're trying to open up a business, and you ought to open it up in Maryville, or you ought to open it up in Crown Point. You should open it up in Hobart. And that was one of the toughest things for us, is trying to find people to buy into our vision and do what we want them to do, which is find us a location in Gary. That's where we want to be. And I don't want to be in Maryville. I don't want to be in Crown Point. So show me some space in Gary. So it was a little bit challenging initially to get realtors and, people that would show space to automatically see, like, they couldn't believe it. Like, why do you want to be in Gary? And we're like, well, this is our vision. And sometimes people don't see your vision right away. And I would say that probably tacked on at least a year.
Really?
To our search.
So just finding a location.
Yeah. We had one realtor that just flat out wouldn't show us any Gary space. And we finally had to get rid of him, and that's just the reality of it, and just trying to get people to understand that Gary is not some boogie monster. It's a great place. It's just like any other place. You're going to have a small percentage of people that are not good, but the majority of those people are hardworking citizens that want the same things that you and I want: good schools, good businesses, a place to eat, a place to go to the movies, a place to be able to find a lawyer. That was one of the things that when we looked at, unfortunately, Gary did not have a lot of law firms that provided legal services. So we just wanted to give back and contribute and do something that we thought would be helpful.
I think a lot of businesses, they get away with being in Gary's because they're like right on the outskirts of like Maryville and Gary. But you guys are smack dab in the middle.
That's where we want.
Downtown Gary, Indiana. Driving to City Hall, you're going to pass by Tolbert and Tolbert, right across from Church's Chicken.
That's right.
Church is still open?
Papa's. It's Popeyes.
It's Popeyes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. They sell chicken now. I knew that.
Church is down the way.
Down the way. Gotcha. Down the way. That's amazing. I love that story. I love the fact of your dedication and your commitment to the area, to the city. Now what kind of law do you all practice? I know there's different forms, different tiers.
We do all civil work,
okay.
Litigation. We call ourselves trial lawyers in the sense that we do personal injury. Sometimes we do personal injury from both sides, defense and plaintiffs. We do a lot of business and contracts, municipal work. Michael is a certified mediator. We gotten into, and I'm just starting trying to do estate planning and
Oh
wills.
wow.
And what am I missing?
I think that pretty much covers it.
That's it. That was something. Those are the areas we saw a need for. In Gary, there are great attorneys in the city, but we really did our research in finding what was needed in the areas of practice, and these are areas that we were practicing in prior to opening Tolbert and Tolbert as well. So a lot of this was all intentional.
Now, all intentional. I love that. Now, I'm reading a book. I think his name is Brian Williams. He's an attorney. The name of the book is Just Mercy. And so he talks about this case he had with a man who was framed for murder, a black man in a very southern, rural part of the country, framed for murder. He just talks about the investment he put into the case and kind of the attachment he had towards an individual. Have you ever found yourself taking a case home with you and it kind of just weighs heavily on your mind more than another case just because of the attachment or the amount of time you invested into that case?
Yeah, I would say for me, and this is, one of the things that I think helps me, but it also hurts me. I take every case, every person that I represent, they become an instant part of my family, or I should say our family. And I take it serious, because people typically when they come to us, they have problems and they have legal issues that they need solved, and they don't want to deal with it anymore. So our job is to deal with it for them. And again, that doesn't sometimes fit nicely, neatly in a 9 to 5, and it requires that we stay at the office and think about ways to assist and help our clients. And I think about them on weekends. I think about them every day. How do I pray? I pray about them. I pray about their issues and their problems. I ask God to give me the wisdom to help me solve their problems. And it is taxing sometimes, but I think that's what separates us from any other profession. Lawyers, it's a people's profession, and unlike any other profession, the oldest, grandest profession in the world, and it's a people's profession, and it requires that we invest that amount of time in the people in order for us to really make sure that we take care of their problems.
To do it justice.
Absolutely.
No pun intended.
Absolutely.
What about you, Shalise?
I think there is a certain level of balance that you have to have. You have to be compassionate. If you're not compassionate, how can you work for the client? So I think that what happens is you have to be careful not to get emotional, but be able to provide the best resolution for the client and understand what they're going through. I always tell our clients, I do this every day. I know I do this every day. You don't have lawsuits all the time. You're not involved in the legal system all the time. So if you have questions, call me. We have our cell phone numbers on our business cards. So I understand that this is something that's new and foreign to you, and this is my everyday life. So when you have compassion for your clients, you're able to deliver the best services for them, and you're able to relate to them.
And what makes you all so cool is that that relatable factor. You're here. I mean, you're easily accessible. You don't have to go all the way to Crown Point, to Merrillville, Valpo to reach you. If you're local, you need a lawyer for an issue. They're right there down the street. Tolbert and Tolbert, LLC. Shameless plug. So you talked about that balance. What do you do for like an interest, for hobbies, as a way to kind of release from the day-to-day monotony of operating and running a law firm?
I was just joking with my friend today and said this is turning into my summer of concerts, live performances this summer. So I love music, so
really,
yeah, I listen to all kinds of music. And
who's in your playlist right now on your iPod?
My iPod. Look at you say iPod.
I don't even know why I just said that.
On my phone.
Yeah.
I got Mary J. right up there. Strength of a Woman. Listening to that CD.
The new CD.
The new CD.
You like it?
I'm liking it. Unfortunately, Mary got to be going through some pain.
She always has to get good music. She got to be going through something.
I love Mary J, but she got to be going through some stuff.
She needs Tolbert and Tolbert's help. Right. Who else you listening to?
Who else am I listening to? Solange is still in rotation.
Got some cranes in the sky.
Yeah, just a little bit. Things vary. I'm a huge New Edition fan, so it doesn't even
really
have to be any new songs. Just they come around. I'm there.
Okay.
I'm 12 years old again.
So. Mike, what about you, man? What do you do to unwind?
I'm a reader.
Okay.
Yeah, so I read tons and tons of books.
What's on the nightstand that you're reading?
What's not on the nightstand?
Really?
Is the question.
That is the
Yeah,
question.
I got a lot of great books that I love reading. Right now, I'm reading a book called Victory at Cost, Victory at Any Cost, about General Nguyen,
Mm-hmm.
who was the general for Vietnam
Okay.
during all his fights with the superpowers.
Okay.
So I like war strategy books.
Okay.
And I love chess. So I have a chess book that I reread try to reread at least once a year. So I'm going back through that, and I'm reading a book about the Wall Street Journal
Okay.
and stock investments.
A very learned
So,
man.
Hey,
Now,
you know, I gotta take care of this woman.
I
you
see,
know?
I see.
mean, you see all this
She's
stuff she got on in the
expensive.
studio.
I am so not expensive. And I am the other part of Tolbert and Tolbert. So we're taking care of one another under God's watch.
There you go. Now, are you a reader like me, man? I'll start off, reading a book and then get like interested in another book. I'll stop. I've been reading Audacity of Hope for like 2 years. I still haven't finished it. So
Really?
I just keep going back and forth.
This guy reads like 4 books at a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
read.
so
I'm
good.
like, wow.
Yeah, I read like three to four books at a time, and
It takes me a week to read it for a long text message.
Well, I tell you, I think I love learning, you know, and one of the goals that I have for myself is I try to learn something. I try to study 1 hour, learn something new 1 hour a day.
That's right.
So that requires the reading.
Yeah. And that promotes you being a more effective lawyer, in your profession. Listen, we'll be right back with Tolbert and Tolbert. Now, you guys do a lot of motivational speaking to young people. If somebody wanted to have you come out and speak to their group, what would that protocol be? What would they have to do?
Hey, if they just call us at our office or email us, and if we're available, we usually try to do whatever we can for, being visible to young people, because that was very important to us, very influential on us as well as we were coming up. So you call our office, 219-427-0094, and if we're available, we'll try our best to be there.
Awesome. Now, what are some of the messages you give to young people when you go speak?
I think the main thing that I like to impart upon them is that anything is possible, and don't let your perceived environment cripple you into achieving greatness. Because I think sometimes people think that if you come from a certain place or if you come from a certain background, that you can't be a doctor, you can't be a radio show host, you can't be a lawyer, and that's just not necessarily true. And you don't have to have, all the top billings in order to do things. All you need to do is to put God first and to step out on faith, and then everything else will open up for you if you just keep a positive mental attitude.
Question: when as attorneys, I know this may hit home for you. So when you watch the news, you see young black men murdered in the street, whether it be from gang violence or police brutality. How does that make you feel as a black man, a black entrepreneur, somebody who came from a tough environment? What position does that put you in?
It really it breaks my heart because we're losing so many of our leaders to gun violence, to police violence, and it just really is just a difficult situation, because so much in our communities can change if we had more positive brothers like you that are out in our communities that's talking to kids, and that they're seeing images of positive black males, because a lot of what we go through as a race and as a culture is image, is being exposed to positive stimuli and being able to act on it. And unfortunately in our communities, our young men are just not seeing that. They're not seeing you. They're not seeing me. They're seeing, Lil Wayne or
Coochie.
Yeah, right. And that's just, we're being bombarded. So we have to just take our communities back. We have to get out. That's why I think Shalice made a good point. When people call us, if we don't have anything on our calendar and they ask us to speak, we try to make it happen, because that's part of that. That's part of the billboards. If you really, really knew us, you know that we are the farthest people from billboard people in the we don't really like the whole billboard thing, but we understood that it was bigger than us, and it was more. If you notice, we don't have like what we do on there, you know, in terms of like practice areas, like injury, wheels, because it's not about that. It's about we want young kids in our community to see black people that look just like them, that came from where they came from, up there, so that they can say, you know what, mom or dad, one day I can become a lawyer because Shalice, that, you know, those people that we passed on that billboard, they did it, and they're from Gary. They're from Westside. They're from Calumet. Calumet, the best high school in the city of Gary.
So I'm going to cut your mic off. You were saying so much good stuff up until that point. Your wife's expression.
I don't even have words for that.
Can't even claim him right now. Shalice, in speaking with young people, have you had that young lady that, you know, did what your husband was speaking about? Did she come up to you and say, hey, you know, thank you, you encouraged me, you motivated me, you made me change the perception I had about myself and my future?
I can't say I've had them, you know, come up and exactly say that, but I can say that I've had them say thank you and appreciate. You can feel the appreciation.
Right.
That was something that was very, very influential on me, you know, career days and things like that, and seeing somebody that looked like me, letting me know I can do this. You know, I came up in the era of the Cosby Show, and I tell this story all the time, that, you know, that's the only black woman I saw as a lawyer. Claire Huxtable, that's on TV. Otherwise, you saw Perry Mason, you saw L.A. Law, everybody was white in L.A. You didn't see anybody that looked like me. So to see her and think, okay, maybe I could do that. And then a career day that happened in junior high school when Mayor Freeman Wilson came.
What junior high school?
Holliston, the best junior high school ever in Tahoe.
Okay, you lost me there. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I can't catch everybody. You came to West Side, you found your way. So, but you know, it was a career day where I saw the mayor speaking, and I'm like, man, this is in person. I can touch her. I'm talking to her, and that stuck with me. So I want the young ladies and young men and women to feel that way too, like I felt, and to have that stick with them. And like Michael said, with the billboards, it's not about advertising for our business. It's about images in our community.
I love that.
Positive images in our community.
I was going to ask the question, you kind of alluded to it. Growing up, who were some of the people you looked at that kind of gave you that spark or that inspiration?
Well, first off, my family was always pushing me and supporting me. And, you know, my mom was always like, get your education. I'll make sure you get your education. And, you know, but, you know, outside of my home, things like the career day, you know, Mayor Freeman Wilson, you know, there were just people along the way that always supported me and helped me understand that I can do whatever I put my mind to. So.
Awesome. What about you, Mike?
I had a great father, you know, and I thank God every day for him. And I, you know, growing up, a lot of my friends didn't have dads. And he was like the neighborhood dad, you know, and he instilled a lot of great values in me, like work ethic, you know, being able to take care of family, and just trying to be a contributor. I remember when we were growing up, my dad, he started a basketball league, you know, for inner city kids, right on Fifth Avenue, and it was like a league that went on for almost eight years.
Really?
Yeah, for Prayer House Deliverance Temple.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, you're talking about guys would come out there with like guns, and my father didn't care. You know, he was right there in the middle of it. And, you know, my brothers, we used to be scared, you know, like, man, you know, something's going to happen today. Because he, you know, my father's a big man. So, you know, he would, like, if somebody cursed, he would physically take them and throw them out. Because it was like in a gate. The court was in a gate. And just to be able to grow up with that sort of a role model and seeing what a man looks like and what a man is supposed to do for his community really had an impact on me.
You two are of faith, right? And so I can tell that kind of roots you and grounds you. It's always exciting to see fellow businessmen and women who are, I'm not a fellow businesswoman, but a business person of faith. How important has your faith been in this journey?
It's been number one. God has guided us on this journey. God, you know, just put this in us. I always joke about how we met, and I'm like, who would have known when I met you when we were 12 that we were going to be at this point? You know, God had a plan. So
Yeah.
this plan is coming to fruition. So we thank God every day for what we are doing and what we have and what he continues to allow us to do for others.
Yeah, without our faith in God, none of this would be possible. He gave us, the advocacy skills. He gave us our health, gave us ingenuity, creativity. He's just given us so many different things and given us great staff. I got to say that because they're listening right now.
Shout out the staff. Hey, y'all.
Melanie, Shelley, Alta, Jill, Candace Williams, Marcia.
I know Candace. She's
Candace Williams?
She just came over.
She's
right?
a great lawyer.
Yeah, she's cousins to one of my best friends.
Well, we're very happy to have Candace, and she's just going to be a phenomenal lawyer.
Very
She's
sweet
already a
lady.
good lawyer, but we're just God has opened up so many doors for us to put us in contact with just the right people. So it's very important to us.
Awesome. Well, listen, anything you all need from in the studio as far as support, you got something going on, you need some cases, and we'll go. We'll hit somebody for you. We'll find any way we can to support you all. I want to thank you so much for coming on and giving us a more in-depth look into Shalisa Michael Tolbert. Learned some great things that unfortunately your husband is a calumet. I'm going to keep riding that. I'm just going to keep on.
Just wait till the West Side picnic. You'll see him there.
He's not supposed to be there.
He can come.
We got to get you thrown out, like your dad used to do. Again, thank you all so much. Blessings on you and your business. And anytime you want to come back, the doors will be open. Again, give out your address and your phone number so people can reach you.
1085 Broadway, Suite B as in boy, 219-427-0094, and TolbertLegal.com.
TolbertLegal.com. Check them out. If you're in the jam, call Tolbert. I was trying to figure out something that rhymed, but I couldn't. So I just wrapped up the show. Just got done off the radio. We finished. We jamming. That Beyonce. Hear that Jay-Z? You hear that? You hear that? Yeah. All right, listen, tune in. I want you guys, press the wrong button. I want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? You can watch today's interview, today's show, last week's show, previous episodes. Desmond Alicea, DEZIMONALICEA. Are you going to subscribe? I need you to subscribe because daily we put new content up on the YouTube channel. It's a great way to stay connected to what we're doing, all right? I'm going to keep vibing out to Beyonce, who's pregnant with twins. Little Jay-Z for you, all right? Thanks for support. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. DA is out.